Doctor Strange, the MCU Multiverse smash hit, is chock full of Easter eggs and hidden details. Here's what you may have missed the first time. Did you catch this in Doctor Strange? At the beginning of the scene where Strange gets ready for a speaking engagement, you'll catch a glimpse of the Manhattan skyline. If you look closely, you'll see a nod to Tony Stark's Avengers Tower. And there's another hidden Iron Man reference right after this too. Did you notice that Doctor Strange has the same taste in watches as Iron Man? The watch he chooses before heading out to his dinner is the Jaeger LeCoultre timepiece, the same brand of watch Tony Stark chooses in Iron Man 2 before his hot mess of a birthday party. When Doctor Strange pulls the timepiece out, we get a close-up of the watch, where we can see that the watch is set to 5:16. In the Bible, Galatians 5:16 says, "So I say, walk by the Spirit, and you will not gratify the desires of the flesh," which fits with the teachings of the Ancient One. Sure, this may be coincidental, but it's not the only biblical reference in the film. But if you can believe it, there's yet another reference hidden on this watch. This being a JLC Master ultra-thin perpetual watch, it also shows the current date, February 2nd, 2016. February 2nd just so happened to be Groundhog's Day in the US. Groundhog's Day is an American tradition where weather science is thrown out the window and a random rodent is asked whether or not there will be 6 more weeks of winter. But it's also a movie where Bill Murray gets trapped in a time loop. Later in the movie, Doctor Strange makes use of a time loop of his own when he traps Dormammu in one. Just before his big crash, Strange is on the phone with Billy, who rattles off a bunch of medical cases for the doc's choosing. Billy tells him about a 22-year-old woman with schizophrenia with an electronic implant in her brain struck by lightning. If you know your comic book lore, then this patient should sound familiar to you. This is how superhero Madeline Joyce, aka Miss America, came to be. She received powers when an experimental electrical device her uncle was testing was struck by lightning. In the comics, Madeline Joyce has since passed the mantle of Miss America onto a new character, America Chavez, who has the same powers. Doctor Strange is filled with trippy visuals, and once again, comic book fans might have noticed something familiar. There are many similarities between the film and the Doctor Strange comic, The Oath. Nicodemus West and Christine Palmer are both featured in the comic, with the scene where Christine Palmer operated on Doctor Strange lifted directly from a panel in The Oath. The Cloak of Levitation, taking on a life of its own, and Doctor Strange getting in a spirit fight are also featured in both the movie and the comic. And there's more hidden comic references. Did you recognize this in Doctor Strange? The scene where Doctor Strange trains his broken hands by writing his name over and over is taken directly from the comic Doctor Strange by J. Michael Straczynski. Keep watching. There's so much more left to uncover. Remember when Doctor Strange is finally accepted into Camartage for training? On his first night, Mordo gives him a tiny paper with the mystical Wi-Fi password Shambhala. This is a direct reference to the practice of Shambhala Buddhism, but it's also a reference to the Doctor Strange comic Into Shambhala, where Shambhala is a mystical secret Tibetan kingdom. Camartage is also where Doctor Strange meets the Ancient One for the first time. And you want to see this next interesting fact about her. Did you notice that the Ancient One played by the uber-amazing Tilda Swinton is actually quite different from the Ancient One seen in the Doctor Strange comics? In the comics, the Ancient One is an old man. Even so, director Scott Derrickson wrote the role of the Ancient One especially for Tilda. He felt that she was the obvious choice for such a mystical and mysterious role. Stay with us because there's lots more to see. In the sparring sequence between Doctor Strange and Master Mordo, Mordo uses the staff of the Living Tribunal. But just who is the Living Tribunal? They're actually very important to the Marvel Universe. It's a 3-headed cosmic entity whose heads float above a golden body without a neck. Their mission is to keep balance in the multiverse and act as judges for cases of the first category in the cosmic order. Seems like their staff would be pretty powerful then. Now pay close attention to this next cool detail. Did you notice when Doctor Strange begins to experiment with the Eye of Agamotto and the time spells in the Book of Cagliostro, the focus of his practice is an apple? But why a piece of fruit? Just like how the magic he's experimenting with is forbidden, the apple is the quintessential symbol of forbidden knowledge, thanks to the biblical story of Adam and Eve. Another interesting fact though, the Bible never actually says what the forbidden fruit is. It might have become associated with apples due to a misunderstanding or a pun, since the Latin word for evil and apple are almost the exact same word. Did you know that Benedict Cumberbatch almost didn't get the role of Doctor Strange? The original shooting schedule conflicted with his role in a stage production of William Shakespeare's Hamlet, so the producers went to another actor for the part. The actor in question ultimately turned down the role because he didn't want to get stuck doing multiple films. At this point, the producers had to push the shooting schedule, but the change freed up Cumberbatch from his prior engagement with the Bard. But who was that other actor who almost got the role? Another Academy Award winner, Joaquin Phoenix. Of course, if he would have taken the part, he likely never would have gotten instead to play the role of the Crown Prince of Crime in 2019's Joker, and that's not a multiverse we want to live in. But there's more strangeness involved in the Doctor himself. Did you know that there are some interesting connections between the character Doctor Strange, actor Benedict Cumberbatch, and the classic rock band Pink Floyd? First off, Doctor Strange can be seen on the album cover of the band's album Saucerful of Secrets, and he's also mentioned in the Pink Floyd song Cymbeline from their soundtrack album to the 1969 movie More. Fast forward to September 28, 2016, just before the release of Doctor Strange movie, and Benedict Cumberbatch actually joined in with Pink Floyd guitarist David Gilmour for a performance of the song Comfortably Numb at Royal Albert Hall. And then, in the beginning of the film, as Dr. Stephen Strange decides what to wear for his dinner event, the song Interstellar Overdrive by Pink Floyd is playing in the background. It's as if Strange, the band, and Cumberbatch were just meant to coexist. And even more secrets from the 60s are to come. After Strange is blasted through the New York City portal, he stumbles out of the Sanctum Sanctorum building. A close-up of the building number reads 177A Bleecker Street. That address holds a sentimental value as it was the address of the townhome shared by Marvel writer Gary Friedrich and Doctor Strange writer Roy Thomas in the 1960s. Did you know this about Doctor Strange? Several movies have been cited as an inspiration, but there's one Disney film in particular that stands out. Cinematographer Ben Davis said the film in question has a very psychedelic grounding and most of the work is about other dimensions, which helped them build the world of Doctor Strange. What film was he referring to? Disney's Fantasia. It's a good thing Disney acquired Marvel in 2009. The inspiration doesn't stop there, though. It is truly mind-bending to see all the sequences in which the world folds in, replicates, and changes orientation. Where do they get these ideas? Aside from Fantasia, the look of the effects were heavily inspired by the fractal concept, and in particular the works of mathematical artist M.C. Escher. Check out this next Easter egg. During Doctor Strange's fight with Caecilius at the New York Sanctum Sanctorum, there's a moment where Strange goes for an axe, but the Cloak of Levitation stops him in favor of a different weapon. That axe is a reference to the 2016 comic Doctor Strange, where Strange takes up an axe called Angaramus when he's lost his powers. Ready for a behind-the-scenes secret? There's no denying Mads Mikkelsen is an excellent actor, and during his close-up, it seems his eyes are constantly welling up or tears are streaming down his cheeks. As it turns out, this isn't some form of sense memory or other performance method. His eyes were just super irritated by his makeup, and he didn't let anyone know that it bothered him. And that's not the only funny detail to be found in the movie. Did you see this in Doctor Strange? After Strange disappears through the portal in the storage closet, Christine jumps when a falling mop scares her. But this is more than just a funny moment in the script. In fact, it doesn't appear in the script at all. The mop handle fell completely by accident, scaring Rachel McAdams, but since she stayed in character, the director decided to keep it in the film. The next funny moment includes the legendary Stan Lee. Everyone knows there's no more iconic figure for the Marvel brand than creator Stan Lee, and he popped up in each and every MCU film with his quick and witty cameos up until his death in 2018. For his cameo in Doctor Strange, take a close look at the book he's reading, The Doors of Perception by Aldous Huxley. In the book, Huxley documents his own psychedelic trips. Notice how the book has 3 eyes stacked on top of each other with different images in their centers? The cover plays into the symbolism of the 3 Sanctum Sanctorums in New York, London, and Hong Kong. You're gonna love this next behind-the-scenes detail. Remember when the Cloak of Levitation wipes the tears from Strange's face? The moment was totally improvised on the set, thanks to a suggestion from Strange himself, Benedict Cumberbatch. Another fun fact about this same scene: when Doctor Strange pops his collar, it's a tribute to another character played by Cumberbatch, Sherlock Holmes. On the series Sherlock, Cumberbatch as Holmes would always pop the collar of his coat. Did you happen to notice Mordo says the bill comes due on multiple occasions in the film? This is another reference to the 2016 Doctor Strange comics. In the comics, Strange receives a warning for constantly using magic. He eventually attracts the attention of the Empirical, an order of scientists who take powers away from the magicians on Earth. We've come to the closing credits, but like any Marvel film, that doesn't mean we're done. We still got a few more fun facts for you. During the mid-credits scene, when Doctor Strange is talking to Thor, he's wearing yellow gloves. This detail is an homage to his comic book costume. In the comics, he wore the gloves to protect his hands. Here's an extra piece of trivia. This scene was not directed by Doctor Strange director Scott Derrickson. Instead, credit goes to director Taika Waititi, who directed Thor Ragnarok, which came out after Doctor Strange. Derrickson claims that there was initially no intention for the scene, but that its incorporation was really valuable as it's the first true instance in which Doctor Strange connects with another member of the MCU. Take a look at this next credit sequence Easter egg. There's a disclaimer at the end of the final credits warning viewers about the dangers of distracted driving. This, of course, is referring to Doctor Strange's car accident that could have been avoided had he not been using his cell phone. While a very important safety tip, it's possible this is a callback to the joke that repeats several times throughout the movie about essential warnings appearing after instructions instead of before. I hope you liked the video and found some things you missed the first time in Doctor Strange. Make sure you subscribe to Movie Logic for more daily movie facts, trivia, and Easter eggs.